Yay Networks.
You're back.
I'm back.
You're back in Minnesota.
I'm here. You had a whole week without me.
I did.
A podcast without me?
Yeah. I had a glimpse of what life could be.
Uh-huh. And how was it?
We'll get into that.
Oh.
There was a lot of unexpected drama surrounding the week that you were away.
I received some frantic texts from you.
There was some mayhem. There was some mayhem that you don't know about. And this is genuine. Oh, her face just dropped when I said that.
What do you mean?
We'll get to it, but I have one little story that I did not tell you. I was saving it to tell you in real time on the podcast, which I know is your absolute least favorite thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm smiling at the camera. Before we get into that, we need to make a big announcement. I have a new medicinal ointment.
Oh, Lord. Shane and his ointment. I mean, I was excited about this at first because this is something I've been asking him to get for a very long time to treat this issue.
Before they know what the ointment is, they're like, what is this about?
And now, knowing Shane, it's just become a thing. Him and his ointment are just a thing, and I'm already tired of it.
So I have chronically, aggressively sweaty palms.
Yeah.
My hands have always sweated.
Yeah.
Sweated. My hands have sweated for my entire life, like really significantly to the point where they like glisten.
They drip.
It's
It's unbelievable.
Gross.
That's why his name is Grubs. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
The sweaty hands.
You had to put up with that when we met.
Yep.
And when we wanted to hold hands like all the time.
Yeah, grubby hands.
There are times during the day when they do not sweat at all. Mm-hmm. And those are beautiful moments. However, in the past couple months.
It's when it gets colder, I think. I think every winter is worse.
That's true every year.
Yeah.
This winter, in particular, the sweat production.
Yeah, it was bad.
The excretions.
Oh, Shane.
I don't use the weirdest word. The moistness.
Okay.
8 people just turned the podcast off. Has ramped up significantly.
Yeah.
To the point, and if this isn't the most junkyard mayhem thing you've ever heard, I emailed my neurologist about the issue. A long email, not a short email either, expressing my concern. Or expressing, there's another nice
Shane.
sweat word.
No.
And he wrote back with some ideas, varying in complicatedness.
Yeah.
And the first and easiest solution was a medicinal ointment.
A topical ointment that you just put on there.
Well, why don't you tell them the regimen?
It is such a regimen. So this is a twice daily ointment, and you have to wash your hands before it. And Shane truly has never washed his hands twice in one day because it's a whole thing, and he doesn't touch things. His hands don't really get dirty because he doesn't touch things. They sweat. So usually it's like a once a day thing. I get a bowl, we fill it with water.
It's not an easy process.
No, it's not easy. It takes like 5 or 10 minutes. I have to fill it with water. Then we have to switch out the water multiple times. We have to have a towel because it gets all over his lap.
It's like back in the, the old ages.
Yeah, using a bowl.
When they would like wash themselves in buckets.
Yep, it's exactly that.
It's kind of like that. We you get over the stove.
No. So it's just a production, and now we're doing that twice with the addition of an ointment that we put on after.
And the directions for the ointment say to rub on your palms vigorously.
Well, it says like put it on palms and then rub your palms together vigorously,
which I cannot do.
Yeah, so I am like the other palm, and I have to vigorously rub this ointment in, and then I'm afraid that my hands are becoming affected. I wash them right away to get it off, but my hands feel a little dry.
I will also say that my hands feel beautifully dry.
It is working.
The ointment is working.
So that's all I needed.
It feels like a turning point for me in my life. There's really nothing holding me back now.
Wow.
So there's really no limit to what I can achieve.
It was just the sweaty palms.
It was the sweaty palms. Every time I tried to do something, it slipped off. Now I have nothing to worry about. All right, well, if there's anything more junkyard mayhem than sweaty palm ointment, I don't know what.
There's not.
That's what's going on in my life.
Should we get into our week apart, Shane?
Let's do a little recap, and maybe we can each, because it was a week,
Yeah.
we're not going to give them a play-by-play.
Yeah.
But maybe we could do, like, our highs and lows
Yeah.
for each of us.
Sure.
And my low is the thing that you don't know about yet. So
Oh my God.
let's get into it. What are your highs and lows of the week? Just as a reminder, if you didn't hear previous episodes, Hannah was in San Diego with her best friend doing the bachelorette party. It wasn't a party.
It wasn't a party.
The bachelorette trip
Yeah.
that they never got to have because of the pandemic.
Yep.
My brother Andrew was here in Minnesota hanging out with me doing the bachelor party that we never got to have.
Was yours a party?
It was a wild party. No, it wasn't. No, we basically watched sports, played video games, and ate food.
Yep.
Okay. What were the highs and lows of your trip to San Diego?
Oh boy. All right. You want to do highs first? Start
Yes.
off happy.
Yes, let's start off happy and descend into sadness.
Although I really want to know what your low is because I don't know why you haven't told me about
You're
this
gonna
yet.
laugh.
Okay.
It's not like horrible. I was arrested.
So my high for the week was my sea kayaking tour. We did a tour led by 2 guides because we were afraid to do this alone, even though plenty of people do this
You
alone.
never really come back if you didn't have guides.
No, because it was like a cave tour. And when we got to the cave, they got out of their kayaks in this freezing water and they put fins on.
It was like ocean water?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they like swam holding on to our kayaks and pulled us into the cave
Oh, geez.
because it was narrow and we couldn't really paddle.
Was there like headspace? Or was
Yeah,
your head
it was a big cave,
Wow.
very big cave.
What was it like inside the caves?
Huge waves because they were like coming in, but crystal clear water. There were like fish swimming, these yellow fish that are like California's state fish or
A
something.
guppy.
It's not a guppy. It's called something. I think it starts with a G. You're close. It's like a Garibaldi or something.
Yeah, probably not
Something like that.
Garibaldi. Well, that sounds amazing and also kind of terrifying.
Yeah, and I'm typically afraid of boats, and I read a lot of reviews about people that capsize, so I was really nervous, but it was not tippy at all. It was very fun.
Most people that take that tour don't come back.
Yeah.
They just perish in the caves.
They kept being like, "Do you want to get out? Like, get out of your kayak, swim around." I was like,
When you were frozen?
absolutely not.
You were
We had
frozen.
wetsuits on
Oh,
because
right.
it was cold.
That's right. You sent me plenty of photos of you in your
I was
in your what's it called?
wetsuit.
Oh, I almost said sweatsuit.
I was so excited about the wetsuit. But yeah, the air was cold too, though. That was the worst part. I mean, I'm not doing a low of my high, but my hands were very, very cold.
Oh,
That was the
okay.
worst part of my
Well,
high.
that is the low of your high.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was your high?
My high for the week, Andrew and I went to a few different sporting events and watched lots of sports on TV. But I think that my favorite moment was the night before he and I did this podcast. We needed to come up with stories from our childhood to tell. And to do that, it was like, nighttime, we were playing video games, and we just began reminiscing about things that we haven't talked about in years.
Yeah.
And there were so many memories, most of which I can't share publicly, but that I had forgotten or that he remembered in a different way.
Yeah.
And we were just like laughing so hard, remembering all the mayhem that we got up to as kids. So
That's
that
so
was
fun.
a nice brotherly bonding
Yeah.
moment.
Cute.
That was my high.
Aw.
Do you have a low from your trip? I mean, both weeks were like really great for both of us. So like,
Yeah.
and I also would say that the low for both of us was like being apart. We were both like,
Exactly.
missing each other. But
I was going to say my low was the first night when I was going to bed and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to bed alone and it's so sad. But I was trying to think of something, not so obvious.
yeah, that's obvious. We're very in love.
All right. My low for the week is absurd. It's not, I don't know how many people are going to be like, this makes sense. Nothing terrible happened to me, but I think the low for the week, aside from missing Shane, was the day I left, I was traveling alone and I had to get a rental car.
The day you left to go to San Diego.
Yeah, the day I left to go to San Diego,
Right.
I flew there and I'm fine flying alone. Like that was fine. And then I got to the San Diego airport and I had to find the rental area, which turns out is a 10-minute bus ride away. So I was like, am I on the correct bus? And I kept asking people, being like, is this really the bus to the rental cars?
And talking to strangers is not in your wheelhouse.
No.
Not
And
in
then
your comfort wheelhouse.
we like pulled up to the rental car area and I had to find my company and then I had to go in and talk to them. And I had never rented a car before. So I was really worried that I wouldn't have everything I needed. And then
I remember, like, as you're standing in line, we're like texting. You're like, "Do I need insurance?"
yeah, I'm like, what am I supposed to say?
I'm like sending you photos of our insurance card.
I didn't need
Like,
it.
I don't know if this is gonna work. But
I know. I didn't need anything. And then when it was my turn to get the car, the guy, like, he was being really nice, but he kept trying to get me to, like, upgrade to a different car. And then he was, like, for free, he was asking me, do you want this one or this one? And I was like, I just want you to bring me
decision making
to the car that you have picked for me. Like, why am I being asked to choose from, like, 8 cars that I don't know anything about? And then I got in my car, and obviously I can't make a decision to save my life. So I just made it because I was standing there, Shane, for like 45 seconds silently, just frozen.
It sounds like you did a good job, though.
And then I got in my car and I picked a convertible because it was a free upgrade. But I think it was really a downgrade because then it was only a 2-door car. So I was like, well, this is very small.
You got duped.
And the back window, the rear window, was minuscule. I couldn't see out of it. And then I started panicking, being like, I chose an unsafe car. So it's just like, it ended up being fine. It was a very small maneuverable car, which worked well for San Diego. But it was so unbelievably stressful. I had a horrible headache by the end of it because I
Wow.
was so stressed.
My goodness. But you did it. And now you
Yeah.
know how to rent a car. It won't be as scary
Yep.
the next time. So your low will become a high.
Yep.
That's how we like to do it.
I don't know
here
if that'll ever be
at
my
Just
high,
Right
but
Now.
I did it. So it's over. What was your low?
My low was a gruesome injury. And I know that we had joked about, me getting hurt by Andrew
Uh-huh.
when he was putting me on the toilet for the very first time.
Uh-huh.
You know that it takes a little bit of like
Yeah.
maneuvering,
specific
and
angle.
angling,
Yeah.
And if it's not correct, and
Yeah. You don't nail it.
I don't nail it. I'm trying to be careful with my words here. It can be very uncomfortable.
You need to nail it. Yeah.
So, attempt number 1, I did not nail it,
Uh-huh.
and I was not
Fully,
situated
you were not
correctly.
situated.
I was not fully on the toilet. So I said, all right, you have to lift me back up and put me down again. This is not going where you're thinking it's going. He, to do so, had to kind of like fold my body a bit more, like knees up
Yeah.
towards my head.
Uh-huh.
So it was just the angle of it all. He had to like lift my knees up higher, closer to my head.
Yeah.
Punched me up a little.
And it's a tight space
It's
for
a
him,
very
too.
tight space.
Yeah.
And as he's doing this, my pointer finger on my right hand is accidentally smashed in between my thigh and my rib cage.
Uh-huh.
But not just like compressed smash.
Is it bent or is
Bent.
it straight?
It's bent.
Okay.
And I hear inside my last knuckle here the most disgusting, like blood curdling, crunching. And, like literally, it filled my body. This like
What?
multiple crunching noises, and I shrieked. I began like yelling.
Did it hurt also?
Oh, it hurt so bad,
Okay.
like blinding pain. But because of how it was happening, I couldn't properly convey what
to
he was
do.
doing wrong.
Yeah.
And he was like, blah, 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 blah. Like, what am I doing? And I was in so much pain that I couldn't say, like, unfold me, like, release. So it just stayed that way for a hot minute. He figured it out, got me on the toilet, and I was like, well, I think I just broke my finger. Like, I genuinely think my finger
Oh my
is broken.
God.
And it was throbbing and just, like, horribly painful. Putting me in my chair after that exact toilet moment,
Uh-huh.
the same thing happened to the same finger. It was something about the way he was, like, lifting me, and it re-crunched, and I shrieked again.
Oh my God.
And my finger hurt. That was like day 1. My finger hurt the whole week. obviously I didn't like get medical attention or anything. It swelled a little bit.
Oh my God.
And then by like day 5, it didn't hurt, and I can bend it my normal amount. So
So it wasn't broken?
I
you don't
figure it
think?
wasn't broken, but I have no idea what the crunching was.
Maybe it was one of your contractures like breaking.
Maybe it
Like a
might have been a
tendon.
ligament there.
Yeah.
I can't move my fingers much to begin with, so really unknown whether I suffered real damage, but
Oh my God.
that was my little low moment of the week. We obviously
Wow.
laughed it off and whatever.
Yeah.
I told him he's never lifted me again, but we figured it out. We adjusted the lifting method going forward.
Did you not have your arms crossed?
I did. It was just some
Yeah.
way that I was, positioning them.
Oh my God.
So we changed going forward.
Wow. That's something.
That was my low. Yeah.
And you
this-
didn't tell me.
No, I didn't. I was like, this is such a funny story. It'll be funny to share with you on the podcast.
Wow.
And I didn't want you to worry.
Yeah.
You were worrying about other things, which
My rental
we'll
car?
get into.
Oh, your
No, we'll get
real
into that.
emergency.
Yeah. There was more drama.
Yes.
All right. Let's take a quick break
Yep.
and then get into some of the drama
Oh boy.
from this trip.
Yep. All right, we are back, and now we are going to tell you about the true drama from the week. Shane's, I don't even know what to call it.
Shane's descent into
Yeah.
panic,
Yep.
misery, fear, chaos,
Wow.
gender mayhem.
Do you want to tell them about it?
That should be our new tagline.
No.
Fear,
No.
misery,
No.
chaos,
Nope.
gender mayhem.
No.
It began. Well, no. Okay, we need to get context here. I have a very specific way of assisting myself to chew my food. If you're listening and not watching, it's going to be hard to demonstrate visually for you.
Yeah.
But basically, I, with the help of someone else, prop my arms and kind of my wrists under my own chin
Yeah.
to act as a assistant for my chewing mechanism.
And then you push down on your wrists, and it makes your jaw stronger.
Can you describe what it's like getting my arms in that position?
Yeah, so you have to put Shane's elbow in a certain spot on his armrest, and then the other elbow in a certain spot on his armrest, 2 elbows, and then the hands meet under his chin, and what holds them there is one thumb kind of under the other wrist. And then
Yeah.
the thumb has to be in a very specific spot to, balance correctly for all the pressure that he's going to put on them.
Emphasis on specific spot.
Yeah.
This kind of feels like building a house of cards when we're positioning my arms.
Yeah.
Hannah is a veteran and, can do this in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Andrew, my brother, who was here helping take care of me while Hannah was in San Diego, has done this, but it's been 10 years, 7, 8 years.
And you used to put your thumb there yourself at the bottom, and then you would pull your arms up, like someone would help pull your arms up.
Yeah,
like
but as I've gotten a little weaker,
the thumb thing is not new. It's been like years and years, but I don't think Andrew ever really did like the thumb placement.
Yeah, you're right. He may not have.
He just did like arm placement.
So you're probably imagining where this might be going, but it's so much worse than what you think. On day 1, when Andrew arrived, Hannah's gone, it became time.
Well, it was before Andrew arrived. It was with my mom.
True. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Okay.
So Shane texts me. This is while I'm probably on the plane still. I had left at 9:15 a.m. And so Shane hadn't eaten breakfast yet or anything, and he was going to eat with my mom after she dropped me off at the airport. So at like 11 or so, I get a text from Shane saying I was trying to have noodles for breakfast or something, but I couldn't get my arms into the right spot with your mom. Like, we just couldn't figure it out. So I ended up eating with my arms down, and I didn't eat a lot. Like, annoying.
Yeah. This has happened, like, speckled throughout the last 5 years, like, randomly here and there. I'll just be tired one day. And, like, it does take a lot of my energy and strength to keep my arms in that position.
Yeah.
The positioning is very important, but then I have to use energy to hold my arms there.
Yeah.
So, I figure I didn't sleep a lot the night before Hannah left because we were stressed and we were busy and waking up early. So I'm probably tired. I know very well how to describe to someone how to put my arms in this position.
Yeah.
So, and your mom has done it before.
Yeah.
So, it didn't feel like an error of positioning.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I'm tired. That's weird. Later that night, the same thing happens to Andrew and I.
Yeah.
And this one felt more like, okay, Andrew is just new to this. He hasn't put my arms up, is how we refer to it. So maybe it's just the thing of I'm not describing it the right way. But we were at a restaurant and it was pretty frustrating. He would get my thumb right where it needed to be, and my thumb would just give way.
Yeah.
Making my arms fall and making it very difficult for me to eat a meal. I can't chew more than a few bites without my arms helping me. Mm-hmm. So again, I text Hannah. I'm like, okay, another meal didn't really work out. I didn't have a whole lot because my arms wouldn't stay up.
And at that point, I'm like, Shane, you need to sit down and figure out how to get your arms up. Now 2 people have tried. I don't think you're giving it your best shot. You need to figure this out. Just sit there and do it again and again until you get it,
Because you were like, well, what did you have for dinner?
Yeah.
And I was like, wine.
Yeah. And I'm like, you need to be eating food this week.
The next few days didn't improve.
Yeah.
And it began to really scare me.
Yep.
I was certain, completely certain, that I was explaining to Andrew the correct way to put my arms up.
Yeah.
It felt like I was in the right position, and then they would fall. It just wasn't working. And I began telling Hannah, I know this is really weird timing, but I think I'm getting weaker. Mm-hmm. I have a progressive neuromuscular condition, and
that's not what you said to me.
I've got, well, no, I'm just
I know.
To the
That
audience.
just sounded like it was all the message you sent me.
Hannah, I have to tell you something. I have a neuromuscular condition. I get weaker. Anyway, I was beginning to really fret.
And I was not, because I was like, Shane, there is no way that this coincidence has occurred, that you suddenly, in an hour since I left, became way weaker and are staying that way. I was like, I don't buy it. There's just no possible way. And you were like, well, that's how it is. I'm weak now.
And my brother, really, really wanted to figure this out, more than me. After 3 or 4 attempts of it not working, I was the one that was like, all right, I'll just eat some dip, softer food. Because I didn't want him to think that it was his fault. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't want the awkwardness of it,
Yeah.
So rather than sitting there for a half hour trying over and over, I often was just like, all right, I'll eat something that's soft and make it easy.
Yep.
Andrew was like, we can figure it out.
Yeah.
Come on. Inside my mind, though, I am, again, certain that I am getting weaker, that I will never be able to put my arms up to eat again. And I'm envisioning my future now, planning, okay, this means I need to always eat only soft food, or maybe I need a feeding tube again. And I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
And trying really hard not to, tell all this to Hannah a lot because, don't want to worry her on her trip. But here and there, I was like, arms didn't work again.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
The weakness is here to stay.
Yep. So I'm getting these texts. I'm worried about it more in Shane's not eating enough this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was really thinking about your future. But I got home, and at the minute I got home, I was like, Shane, I want to try to put your arms up. I can't believe.
We kissed hello, and then she was like, all right, want to try your arms?
Yeah. I was like, I can't believe what you've been telling me. I need to see this for myself. Let me just do it. And Shane was like, no, I don't want you to do it.
I didn't want to face the truth.
Yeah, because you were like, it's not it wasn't Andrew, it wasn't your mom. It was the fact that my arms no longer do this, and I don't want to face that. And I was like, Shane, we have to try. We have to. So Shane, finally, we went in the bedroom alone. This is a big thing for Shane.
I was very worried.
You were so worried. We go in there. I put his arms up. they kind of like flop at first. And I'm like, no, the thumb just wasn't in the right spot. You were like, see?
Vindication.
I do it one more time and they stay.
They say.
And Shane was like,
My jaw dropped.
oh, yeah, I've
jaw
never
actually
seen you in more shock than that.
And so I like put my arms down and, you know, we went about our night and then we ate dinner later.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, try again.
Yep.
And they went up on the first try.
Yep.
And they stayed.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. For like a week, I was like shocked that it was working again.
I know.
So
You're still very grateful that it's working
I'm
again.
so happy.
Every time it happens, you're like, wow, this is great.
I visited the land of the weak
Yep.
and I returned to
Okay.
the land of the strong.
Yeah.
Nope, still very weak.
Yeah.
But it must have been some error in my explanation.
Yeah.
You know, something that felt like it was right, but like
Yeah.
isn't right, but Andrew and your mom wouldn't have noticed that.
Yep.
I don't know. But basically the grand conclusion here is that you need to give seminars
Yes.
to everyone in our network
Yeah.
about how to put my arms up.
We should probably sit down with my mom and like show her, I should do it with her. Like a hands-on,
sounds
our
fun.
hands together.
With my dry ointment
Yeah.
hands.
Now they're not even sweaty, so you'll be even stickier.
Maybe that was it.
Maybe?
Because I didn't have my ointment then.
Oh, well, you've never had your ointment before.
So maybe it was my excessive sweat.
Maybe it was. That
Ew.
couldn't have helped.
Ew.
Poor Andrew.
So that was like the main drama
Yeah.
of the week. And it was scary. Like, it was genuinely scary.
Yeah.
On my end, at least. On Hannah's end, she was like, it's just, you're not doing it the right way.
Yeah. I had a feeling, but I knew it was scary for you.
I think we should take a quick break. And then we have another tidbit of drama
Yep.
that involves some inflammatory content that you posted
Yeah.
on your Instagram,
Yep.
which I think we need to condemn you for.
That's
a little
me. Oh, I've already been condemned. Don't worry.
bit. All right, we'll be right back.
All right, we are back. This is a segment I like to call Horrible People That Annoy Me.
Oh, wow.
This is dedicated to the people that commented on my latest Instagram post.
Is this going to be a recurring theme or a recurring
Probably.
segment?
You know what? It's up to the people who write the comments. If I keep receiving things like this, yes, it will be a recurring segment.
Or are you going to be able to keep your composure
I will try.
as we move through this story?
I am not good at reading comments that are negative in nature. It really, really bugs me.
You're like just grinding your teeth.
So I will try to remain calm and pleasant while also, refuting their points aggressively
And hating them to their very
and
core.
really, really not liking them very much.
Okay, so you posted, you came home from San Diego.
Yep.
And as the influencer that you are, wanted to make a post about the experience on your
Yes.
Instagram.
Uh-huh.
So
So
you deliberated for a long time.
I did multiple days. I was like, which picture should I post? And finally, Shane was like, you know what you should do? Oh, Shane was like, you should post a picture of your week and a picture of my week,
Right.
like a picture of you and a picture of me. And then be like, we had our week apart. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I'm asking Shane to send me pictures. And he didn't really take a lot of nice photos. He took a lot of really strange.
The kinds of photos that you would expect from Andrew and me.
Yes.
Just, we're making faces.
No
It's
nice
just-
photos.
Yeah, there was really nothing. We were trying to make you laugh. So.
Yeah, everything I received was just like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, I'm sending really pretty shots that
You're
I've edited.
lounging on a palm tree.
Yeah, and I'm like, look at my beautiful vacation. And you're like, here's me on the toilet. So Shane eventually was like, oh my God, post this one of me on the toilet.
I actually sent her a photo.
Yes, he had actually sent a photo of him on the toilet.
Because it was we had worried slightly about getting me on the toilet.
Yeah.
Looking back, how ironic that I got injured.
You were injured.
But the first time he put me on the toilet, I was like, take a photo.
Yeah.
Send it to Hannah. Show her that it was a a grand success.
Yes. And it's just a funny photo because you have like the neck float on.
Which, if they don't know what that is,
Yeah, it
that
doesn't
sounds
matter.
really weird.
Big yellow
I
float.
wear a yellow float on the toilet to hold my head up. Don't come at me.
Yeah. So it's just and Shane's he's glowing. He just looks so excited. And so Shane was like, oh my God, use that one and then post like one of the photos of you that's like
Like a
nice
nice
and
one.
normal.
Yeah.
Like your vacation versus what you received from me.
Because, from an objective perspective, how funny.
Yeah.
The contradiction between beautiful you posing on the beach
Yeah.
and me, Junkyard Mayhem,
On the toilet.
on the toilet with my yellow net float.
Yeah.
Doing the, devilish
grin.
grin. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, Shane, I don't know if that is appropriate.
I think first you just said no.
Yeah. I was like, Shane, I really don't know if that's appropriate. I think that people are going to be like, that's not a professional photo.
Because I'm naked.
Yeah.
You can see some leg.
You can see some leg. And like, it's nothing more than what we've shared before in swimsuits, obviously.
Yeah.
You're covered up. But I was like, it's just the idea that you're on the toilet is maybe a bit much, Shane. Like, I don't know if I want to post that.
And I'm just diddling to myself, saying, Hannah, it's hilarious,
Yeah.
please.
Shane's like, no, this needs to happen. I've made my mind up. It's really funny.
I was like, if you don't, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So.
And I was like, are you sure people won't think that it's inappropriate? And Shane was like, no, people know our sense of humor. They're not going to think it's inappropriate. It's totally fine. It's so funny. And I was like, okay, it is really funny as long as you think it's funny, whatever. So I post it. And boy, oh boy, most people did think it was funny.
Like 90,000 people
Yeah.
and counting
True. Have liked
have
it.
liked it and commented like, this is hilarious. Like a lot.
Yes.
Overwhelmingly positive.
And then there were some people who thought that the toilet aspect of it was inappropriate. They didn't want to see that.
Which I'll give it to them. Like,
Whatever.
People have
Okay.
different tastes.
Yeah, you don't want to see Shane on the toilet. Don't watch our first 100 videos on YouTube.
If you don't want to see me on the toilet, why are you watching?
Good question.
That is the main theme
You're right.
of this channel is bathroom.
That's so true.
I just spent 15 minutes talking about medicinal ointment
I know.
for my sweat.
Yeah, why do
you
they
can't stomach a toilet?
why do they draw that boundary? I don't
What,
know.
You don't poop?
Okay, Shane.
Okay.
That's a bit much. Anyway, so there were those comments. I kind of expected those. But there was a different breed of comment that picked up a lot of traction, got a lot of likes, that I cannot deal with.
No.
Could not deal with it. Neither could Shane. I think he responded to each and every one of these personally.
All right, so we have some of the comments here.
Yeah.
Just kind of giving you a taste.
I deleted a lot of them, but these are the
Yeah.
ones I could find. I was so annoyed.
But some of these were getting hundreds of likes.
Yeah.
So it was obvious that a not insignificant number of people were feeling this way, which again, I'm going to
disturbing.
emphasize is ridiculous.
Let's wait to analyze. Okay. Here's one from Erica. It's really sad and humiliating that you posted a picture of him on the toilet. Something very wrong with how you're exploiting him in some of your posts.
Comment number 2.
Here's another one. He seems pretty brainwashed into insisting this is okay. That's after you posted being like, stop complaining about this, people. So someone responded, he seems pretty brainwashed into insisting this is okay. I have a hard time believing anyone but her took this photo. Like he had someone else take this photo of him on the toilet and texted it to her. Doubt that. She has some sort of weird kink, it seems, where she shows how perfect and lively she is while he sits disabled and exposed on the toilet seat. It is gross.
That is a very specific kink.
Shane, that was the whole joke of the post. Like how I was sending these really polished photos and you were sending but they made it.
But by that person's
Yeah.
assertion, you took the photo without my consent
Yeah, you're right.
and
I was
used it
actually home.
to fulfill your kink, which is showing people how lively you are while I sit on the toilet.
Disabled.
While
While
I
you sit on the toilet, disabled.
Was there one more? Someone
Yeah,
replied
there's a
to
lot
that
more.
one.
Yes, I feel like she took this photo too. It's sad. They have a story to tell, but their platform is just a little distasteful.
I'll give them that. It is distasteful.
Can you believe that? Then there was another one. This This one is from a disabled person. They wrote, "This photo contrast makes me sad as an individual that can't walk." And here's like just a little caveat. This is proof that disabled people can be ableist.
Oh,
Just
yes.
get ready for this comment. This is someone who claims that they can't walk and needs help with basic needs right now. Would you break your ankle? That's what it sounds like. He may be laughing as he is a good sport, but deep down, I can't imagine it doesn't sting to see the contrasts in experience. If a non-disabled person posted a poo pic, we wouldn't pity them. Most would laugh, but it's not funny. You get to just enjoy yourself, and Shane continues to struggle with everything while trying to have some normalcy by going to sports events with friends. But deep down, it's a sad feeling at Shane's expense. He can manage his own dignity, yes. That's after you responded, and probably gave permission for this post, but being disabled myself, there's a sting to the contrast. We have to struggle to do anything that we can still do. Nothing is carefree like the feeling your pic elicits. That's the sadness here that I can't dismiss.
That one might be my most frustrating one.
Shane.
Because obviously disabled people have a range of experiences.
Yes.
And there are aspects of disability that are obviously difficult at times.
Yeah.
But this individual is just assuming and taking for granted the fact that me being on the toilet is a pity. That I am struggling with everything, I think you said, and that like seeing you be happy or do something
Is a sting.
physical is just like
And you
painful.
struggle, you try to maintain normalcy by going to sports events?
Because I'm not normal, obviously, is the implication there. It's
Like,
like, well, his
what?
life is so sad and terrible.
Yeah.
He's just trying to go to a basketball game. Let him have his fun without rubbing your beach photos in his face. Why do you walk?
Oh my God.
So these are kind of a flavoring of
Yeah.
the comments that she received for this photo.
Oh, I can read your response now
Oh, yes.
because that's
Because my response
sums it up.
kind of sums up like what people are doing wrong here and why these comments are ignorant.
Yeah.
Obviously, even you can understand for yourself. They're assuming that I have no autonomy or dignity or
Yeah.
anything, and that I was like uninvolved in this little post that Hannah made.
Yeah. And then I was like, I know how to embarrass him,
Yeah,
you know?
that you have a kink that gets, that it's all about like being more powerful than me.
Okay, here's what Shane wrote. This is in all caps. "Dear Lordy, to all the people thinking Hannah is exploiting me for posting this, I suggested she use the photo. I think it's hilarious. Stop policing content for disabled adults because you view us as too vulnerable or incapable of standing up, parentheses, LOL, for ourselves." And then this is non-caps. "I don't post in all caps often, but some of you need to realize I'm an equal partner in the content we create. She's not using me or doing things without my knowledge. Freaking lax." Yeah.
Boom, mic drop.
Mic drop. There you go. So annoying.
This is the thing that we get all the time.
Yeah.
So many people out there think that I have no control
Yeah.
over my life. Like
Yeah.
that I am not capable of existing without you, like, making every decision for me.
I know.
Like, instructing how I live my life.
It's so funny because that is the exact opposite dynamic of our relationship. Like, you are by far the more
Autonomous one.
dominant in the relation, like decision maker. Like, you are like the person that handles everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just sort of like here.
I structure our life.
Yeah.
I like,
and you are not
obviously
given
we're-
that credit.
Obviously, we're a team.
Yeah.
Like, we make decisions together, but like, exactly. I'm not given any credit for even being involved, let alone like
Yeah.
the fact that I organize and make decisions and
Yeah.
am an adult that is
Yeah.
well adjusted.
Yeah.
We did it like when we posted a video of us outside and I don't have a coat on.
Yeah.
Tons of comments that are like just ripping on Hannah
Yeah.
for allowing me outside without a coat, as if I'm a 4-year-old. Like, trust me, Hannah's always on me about wearing a coat.
Yeah.
And I just say, no, I don't want one right now. Like,
Exactly.
And if she did put one on me, after I said that, it would be abuse, A. And just not a healthy dynamic.
No, people have asked about that in the past. How do you handle like to me, how do you handle if Shane wants to do something that you don't approve of? You know, if you wanted to like drink 5 beers,
Right.
what would I do? Would I just not do it for you? And like, no, you know, we've talked about this before, but people obviously aren't getting it. Like, I would enable you to do the whatever you want to do. Like,
and
as
you don't have to be happy about it.
no, and as your wife, I would be like, Shane, I really don't think you should do this. I'm annoyed at you. I don't want to talk to you. Like, whatever my reaction is fine.
Just for context, 5 beers would ruin me.
Yeah.
Some people are like 5 beers. Not
Oh,
that many.
yeah. Shane
I
can
would say
have
not
like
have 5 beers.
maximum 2 beers before he's drunk. No, but I could have whatever emotional reaction a wife would have, but I can't like physically stop Shane from doing something
that
or
would
like
be-
withdraw
And
help.
It scares me because, like, you know, all these people that commented these things and have commented about this in the past, they might be caregivers for
Yeah.
people. And who knows if they are making decisions for the disabled people in their life without truly taking the disabled person's opinion and autonomy into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, that's not caregiving. Like, caregiving is assisting in
Yeah.
you living your life the way you want to. It's not me trying to live your life the best way that I think.
Yeah.
You know?
And posting inappropriate toilet photos of me
Yep.
to get some likes on
To get some
Instagram.
likes. That's me.
I think from now on you should only post Shane on the toilet content.
You're right.
Just make your page a shrine to my every bowel movement.
I swear you've posted a photo of yourself on the toilet
I
before.
have.
I'm sure
I
you have.
I have to have. It's the funniest thing. I look ridiculous.
I'm sure you have.
And people out there are listening and say, he is so brainwashed
Yeah, he's
by her
brainwashed.
to think that this is okay.
Yep.
Well, it is okay because I'm a 30-year-old adult and I can say it's okay.
Someone commented something that was like, you're taking away all of his dignity by posting this. And I had responded to that one. It was early on. I stopped responding after this, being like, Shane is a 30-year-old adult. He can manage his own dignity.
And they're like, no, but the wheelchair.
No, but they were like, well, he obviously can't.
Oh my God.
That was their response. And I was like, just because you don't approve, like, just because you don't think it's funny to post a toilet photo does not mean that like you should then step in.
Yeah, but it might not even be that. It might be that, I mean, it is that they genuinely don't think I am capable of like
True.
making decisions for myself
Yeah.
because I use a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And therefore I am less than.
Yeah.
That kind of attitude and belief
I know.
needs to die.
Yeah.
A quick and painful death.
That might be one of the most annoying, you know, aspects of
Yeah.
like society's view of disability.
Yeah. But that's why we make our content, to show people and hopefully educate them. We try our best not to like get fired up all the time.
Yeah.
It is really frustrating to see ideas like this spread and
Yeah.
thousands of people like buy into them. But we're doing what we do to hopefully help people that are maybe on the fence
Yeah.
come over to the light side and realize that
Yeah.
disabled people are whole and capable and,
Yep.
you know, should be treated as such.
Yeah.
That was Junkyard Mayhem.
That was Junkyard Mayhem.
Episode whatever, 7?
That was a fiery one.
I'm going to stop saying the episode numbers because I'm
yeah.
not
You don't
remembering
know them. You don't know.
it. I think it's 7.
Okay.
All right, everyone. If you enjoyed this podcast, or if you didn't, subscribe,
Yep.
follow,
Review.
like, star, 5-star, comment.
What is our outro going to be today, Shane?
I don't know. The pressure of these is really building. Do you have any?
No, this is not my job. I take zero responsibility for how we exit our podcast.
It is a junkyard out there filled with toilets, just awaiting your next beautiful selfie. Take it, post it, love it,
Oh.
bop it,
All right. These go on too long. You need to learn brevity.
fear,
Goodbye, everyone.
chaos, misery. Junkyard Mayhem.